I didn't get a chance to check out the is it a documentary? Doing my drugs, and you go out to Zambia, and it's an artist. If you could talk about that, what inspired you to do that? And
Yeah. So, a guy that I'd worked with in television years before invited me to come on as producer for a film for this documentary that he was directing. And as soon as he told me the story, I was like, "Oh man, that's fantastic!" And the basic story was he had befriended a Danish musician. I can't even remember where they were. He was on vacation somewhere, and they just got to talking. And this guy's had an amazing story. So this musician, his name was Thomas Buttenschern. He was born in Zambia, had a Zambian mother, and his father was like an aid worker from Denmark. And they fell in love. She got pregnant, and she had Thomas in Zambia. So he's half Zambian, half Danish. And when he got to be about a year, he got really ill. They couldn't figure out what's wrong with him. They were in Zambia. They went to a bunch of doctors. They decided, you know, it was getting pretty bad. So they took him to Denmark. They got him into a clinic. They tested him. He was HIV positive. Both the parents then tested. They both had it. They don't know who gave it to who, but they were, you know, they both had HIV. And back then, in like the late 80s, it was a death sentence. So by the time Thomas was 9, both his parents died from AIDS. And he got very, very ill. But right then is when these new antiretroviral drugs kicked in. And so they gave him to him and he recovered. And, you know, he'd had this sort of tragic childhood, and he got into music, started writing, and he got a real following in Denmark and became kind of this pop star, this pretty famous pop star. You know, I was kept in touch with his family in Zambia, but hadn't been there in a long time. And he decided to go back down to Zambia. And when he got there, he was both blown away by the talent, the musical talent in Zambia, but also the prevalence of HIV, because nobody would get tested for the shame of it, you know, the stigma. And he was a living example of like being open about it, and, you know, that these drugs are now available. Why is everyone so afraid of getting tested when you can survive? And a lot of people, we were down there, you know, a lot of people, it was just clear that they would rather get sick and die than admit to their family that they had HIV. I mean, it was crazy how the shame associated with it. So the story of the film, it's a long way of setting it up, but the story of the film is he connected with these musicians and they write an album to raise awareness about going out and getting tested. And the film kind of culminates, it's the process of making the album and getting to know these different musicians and getting to know the country better. And then we threw a concert in Lusaka, which is the capital. And it was a test for tickets concert. So if you tested, you could get in for free. And we tested 11,000 people and really raised awareness about testing. And so it was really a great experience. I loved being in Zambia, beautiful country, you know, amazing people, and, you know, so much talent there. Really brilliant people. So that was a great experience. I loved making that film.
wow, that sounds powerful. Yeah, I definitely want to check out the full film. I did see the trailer online, but I'm gonna have to watch that because I'm in Africa. For the viewers who don't know, I'm in Ghana. I've been to about almost 20 African countries, but I haven't been to Zambia yet. But I've only heard great things.
Yeah. Well, if you let me know, and I'll connect you with some of the musicians there. I know you're a musician.
Oh yeah, definitely. I appreciate that. That'll be awesome. Let me see. We're about 26 minutes in, so I guess I want to ask you, are you currently working on anything? Are you writing, filming, producing? Are you retired? You got a book coming out, documentary?
Yeah, I'm working on a bunch of different stuff, actually. I've been making a documentary down in Texas, actually, in the Gulf Coast of Texas, it's about a shrimper, a woman shrimper who's been fighting these terrible petrochemical plants that have polluted the bays. Her family has fished and survived on for 4 generations. And the fishing is dying out, and it's, you know, these plastics plants are just killing the water. They use all the fresh water in their processing, and then they spew it back out, and it's got all these plastic pellets in it, and it's just destroying the bay. So she's an amazing character, and she's been fighting these companies and has won some really big lawsuits against them. So it's sort of this environmental justice story about her. I'm very excited about that project. And then comedy-wise, I'm doing something with. You familiar with Bryan Cranston, that actor? He was in Breaking Bad. He had this amazing idea to take a 50s detective show, and we found one from like shot in 1959, black and white show, and it starred an actor named Mike Connors, and we digitally erase the lead character, the lead detective, and then we're shooting Ty Burrell, who's the dad in Modern Family. He's the new detective. We shoot him, and then we insert him digitally back into the old show. So everyone else has the same dialogue, but we write new dialogue for him. And it's just crazy, weird idea for television. And so that we're waiting to get going into production, but hopefully in July we'll get into production on that.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Wow, that's real cool. Okay then. Man, I just want to thank you again for everything that you have done. Like I say, the writings and the sketches that you have created have allowed a lot of people to laugh and get together and enjoy themselves. And I definitely look forward to the work that you have coming in the future. Thank you for coming on the
Ty. I
show.
appreciate it. I appreciate your having me.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yep. Thank you
Take
viewers for
care.
tuning in. All
Yeah,
right.
happy
Peace.
travels. Happy travels.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.